For more on this case, let's bring in Fox News contributor, also criminal defense attorney, Donna Rotunno. Donna, when this thing broke and they released that footage of the creepy guy on the front porch, I thought they're going to make an arrest imminently. But if you don't make an arrest in these kinds of cases in the first 48 hours, you start to have problems. Here we are 6 months in and nothing.
No, you're right, John. And the problem is the first 48 hours of that investigation was crucial. And I think what happened in the beginning, the sheriff's office really thought that maybe this was just an older woman who disappeared from her home. They did not look at this as it was more of a missing persons case than it was a kidnapping. And I think given that, they really didn't do certain things that they should have done to secure that crime scene. And in terms of getting information, what we see on that video that's on screen right now was obviously helpful. It gave police some leads, but the problem is they probably would have had a lot more had they secured that scene properly. Because remember, they didn't get this information until several weeks after they started looking into these Nest cameras. And what they did was they went to Google and they asked Google if they could put together these data points, these caches of information. And had they looked into this sooner, they may have been able to find more information, because we've talked about the fact that that doorbell camera was, we see in the video, ripped down. And it wasn't left on scene. So odds are the perpetrator took that camera with him. And had they known sooner that that was an issue, and they may have worked with Google, they may have been able to maybe get some voice recording or other parts of information from that camera. So not securing the scene properly in the beginning, I think, was probably the #1 problem in this investigation.
I want to put up one of those ransom notes. This is the first one that came in. It reads, "Hello, Savannah. We have your mother, Nancy. She is safe but scared. She will be held for ransom, and once payment is received, she will be released unharmed. Your mother is aware of this, and her life is in her hands." Now, the sheriff is saying there's a distinctive writing style there, and they're hoping people are going to come forward, but frankly, I don't see it.
I don't see it either. That was the first thing I thought. I think releasing the actual letters here is really grasping at straws, because I read both of those letters and I don't see anything strange. I don't see any odd use of language, or maybe we're talking about English as a second language and using words in places that you wouldn't. I don't see that here either. But again, here we are 6 months in. I think they're saying we're going to try to do anything that we can. I mean, these are letters they've had since February.
Yeah. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, was obviously brought down by letters that his brother, but he wrote long manifestos.
And in handwriting, right? These are all digital, so it's not like somebody's going to look at this and say, oh, I recognize the weird way they make an E.
Here is the second one. The second note reads, "She perished shortly after she was taken. We believe it was heart-related. She's buried in nature now. Nothing you could have done could have changed the outcome." Now, we're putting these on the screen, but there's no absolute certainty that these are authentic. They could have come from anybody.
You're absolutely right. And the law enforcement agencies have not come out and said that they believe they're authentic. Savannah herself has said she thinks that these two may be, but there's no way to really know that. And the fact that we have the resources we have, and we haven't been able to get more information from these letters, given the fact that they were sent digitally and there is a digital footprint, is truly astounding. I guess you can look at those letters and say certain words may be strange from a criminal, saying words like perished and, things of that nature. Or maybe it was done by AI, right? They put some information into AI, and that's what AI spit out. So, I mean, it's very difficult to say where these came from or how, but here we are 6 months later, John, and this is very sad.
Yeah, Chris Nanos, the sheriff, says they are still pursuing all kinds of leads. He says they've got a lot of evidence. Listen to this.
It's the only piece of evidence we have that says, here's a picture of them right now. Does that mean other evidence doesn't exist, video or otherwise? No, I think it does. I think it's out there. And maybe we have some of that, but we have so many thousands of pieces of video, literally tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands of pieces of video that they're still going through, apparently, and that suggests to me that, I don't know, that they're still flailing a bit.
I think you're right, and it is a needle in a haystack to look through all of these things. I believe that they are. I mean, I believe that they're actually working this case. I don't think they're sitting back not doing the work, but videos from where, right? If they're just from random people's houses nearby, you would have think that they looked at those much sooner, or the people who lived in those houses would have said, look, we have something that looks unusual here. Let's pay extra attention to it. Are these just videos from roads? Are they videos from stores? You know, because remember, they traced the backpack back to Walmart. So, you know, who knows? Maybe they have different Walmart videos they're looking at. So we're in for the long haul here on this, I think, John.
Savannah Guthrie put out an Instagram post today urging people to please come forward. She writes, someone knows something, someone suspects something, someone recognizes the writing in the ransom demand notes. The reward is available. There's a way to end this situation and do the right thing. That last part sounds like a plea to the actual kidnapper.
It does, the kidnapper or someone who knows the kidnapper, because I do think she's right. I also think the sheriff is correct. There's someone out there who knows something about this beyond just the kidnapper. I don't think one person acted alone here.
All right. Well, 6 months. It's hard to believe that they still don't have answers.
You're absolutely right.
Donna Rotunno, thank you.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.